Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. I'm Captain Richard Cash, the Assistant Commander of the Criminal Investigations Division. We wanted to highlight a recent arrest of a larceny series that occurred here in Fairfax County and spread regionally, involving the theft of reptiles from the Petco pet store. Three individuals have been held responsible for this crime. All of them reside in Maryland. At some point they will all be extradited and or face court charges here in Fairfax County. I'll go ahead and take any questions that you may have.
What were they doing? Do you know why they were stealing good snakes and bearded dragons, and what they were doing with them?
Yeah, great question. Unfortunately, none of them would speak to our detectives when they were arrested. But what it is we have individuals that operated in pairs. They operated in concert with each other that would enter these stores. They would approach the reptile habitats and they would disconnect the locking mechanisms for the cages. And then on video, our detectives were able to witness them removing the animals from the cages, placing them into bags that they brought to the store with them, and then exiting. And that's the theft that they were committing.
And doing what with them? Are they selling them online?
So fortunately, we executed a search warrant in Capitol Heights, Maryland, and we were able to recover over 20 reptiles. We believe that we've recovered all of the ones that are missing from Fairfax County. So what their intention was, we're not quite sure. If they were going to sell them, there are some local traveling reptile expo shows that come up that you can sell these animals at. There are some coming up here soon. Maybe that was their intention, but without those interviews with them and them invoking their rights, we don't have a positive answer on it.
So did this happen in broad daylight during when customers are around?
So actually it did. So it happened, the first one that took place in our Mount Vernon district on May 21st actually happened at 7 p.m. There were customers, there were staff, and they would just get to a position where they could get the habitats unlocked and then just start taking the reptiles. They were in and out of the stores fairly quickly, but that's what we had in the Mount Vernon district. And then on May 23rd, May 25th, our Mason district had the same incidents happen, same individuals. And once we reached out regionally, then we were able to get with our Maryland partners who also had a series of these events as well.
Also Prince George's and Charles County as well?
So Prince George's County, Charles County, and Baltimore County, Maryland, all experienced these reptile thefts involving the same individuals.
So more than 20 could have been, that you recovered could have been stolen?
Correct. Yeah, from all of our locations. Right now we have recovered 20 reptiles, just over 20, but there could be more. We don't know what they did in between. They may have had some, and again, not knowing what their intentions were, maybe sold some, but we were able to at least get back right around 20 reptiles.
How much can you get from these traveling reptile expo shows you mentioned? Are they like lucrative?
So I'm not the expert on that one. However, in total, this theft, these reptiles, all of the ones that we're aware of that they took, did go over or somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 worth of reptiles. Some of these in our Mount Vernon location, the pythons that were stolen for there, two of them were worth $400 each. The other two were worth about $100 each. So I don't know what you get on the return when you sell them, but they definitely were stealing some high-end reptiles.
Bearded dragons, what else altogether?
Yeah, so ball pythons were the big one. They had bearded dragons and they had geckos. And then outside of the pythons, there were a couple other types of snakes that were taken, both milk snakes.
And can you believe Bagley, Igo, and that woman are the three, they were, like, it's not a wider...
We don't believe it's any wider. Everything that we did as far as the detectives to track down these thieves by utilizing camera systems and social media and phone numbers all led back to the same three individuals.
By social media, you mean them advertising reptiles for sale?
Advertising and communication between the trio.
Did they work at pet stores before? How did they know how to unlock?
So good question. Again, without the interview, I'm not quite sure. We do not show any history with them and animals. There's no history of this type of behavior involving reptiles before. The mechanisms at these stores, they're not hard to defeat. Again, it's just a pet store. I mean, you think of the pet stores you've been to; those habitats, they're not the strongest enclosures that are designed.
Were these all Petcos for the most part, Richard?
In Fairfax County, yes. I can't speak on Maryland. They may have had other pet stores affected, but in Fairfax County, it was Petco's.
And were these suspects, did they have criminal histories?
They do have criminal histories. Some of it involves larcenies, which is what this is classified as, but nothing that I saw or that we saw that was, again, reptile related or in this. This is very unique of a series. Most of the time we appear and we're talking about series of totally different other items, more commonly used items. This is a unique one, but this is one that definitely needed attention.
Bizarre.
Very, very bizarre. But our detectives and our criminal investigations division do great work. This case was tackled by a couple of detectives, again, one out of Mount Vernon, one out of Mason, who did excellent work and is what led us to Maryland and ultimately locating where these folks live.
Were you guys rattled by these crimes?
Rattled, wrong type of snake, so no, but I'm a fan of reptiles, so I don't mind that. But other folks that were present, for this investigation are not as welcoming to those animals.
Probably the pet stores were rattled by those.
Pet stores were very affected by it. They take a lot of care and concern for their animals. So this was alarming to them. And again, it's just something that we do not see. It is a very unique investigation and one that came to an excellent closure.
Good.
Okay.